Jason here, Clear Creek Farm. How we doing today? Now we got the barn all cleaned out. Brooke is going to go through and go over our different medicines and what we got going on here.
The first box I'm going to start with, the little box I kind of take with me when I have a doe in labor, and I'm kind of kidding. First off, we have some selenium and vitamin E paste. I usually give this to all new kids except ones that like knead over or have tight ligaments, and then I'll give them a Bosey shot. But most of them just get this, or they'll get little 1,000 IU selenium capsule. I just cut it open and squirt the gel in their mouth. I don't have any here right now, so I can't show you. I have to go get some. But you can get those at Meijer, Walmart, wherever in the pharmacy department. Some scissors in case I need to like trim umbilical cords or whatever. Clear eyes, just in case somebody has some goop in their eyes or whatever they need cleaned out. Probiotic paste. This, I think I just put this in here because I needed somewhere to put it. And this little thing, I keep a few extra 1cc syringes. They're basically diabetic syringes. Our vet orders these for us every year. I use these for newborns, for Bosey, and when we give them the Draxxin when they're just born, because you're only doing 1/10 of a cc for that, and these those syringes are perfect for that kind of dosage. And then down here, well, I got to get a new one of these. I had to use it. This is a tube feeding kit. I have to get a new syringe for that because I had to use the syringe for something else the other day. Save a Kid colostrum replacer. This stuff is really good. If you don't have some, you should get some. One package will feed one kid. Peppermint essential oil, and this is like just like a lotion base that I put this in, and then I can rub it on an udder if a doe has a congested udder or if it's super engorged. It helps to alleviate some of the engorgement. I know some people say, oh, that won't work, but it actually does. It does work. I will say that it does because I've used it many times. We usually give new kids this stuff too, just like a kickstart when they're born. In case mom doesn't have really good colostrum, this stuff has all the extra antibodies that they might need. So this box is basically everything that I take when a doe is kidding, minus a few things. Obviously the Draxxin and the Bosey are kept in the refrigerator, and then the towels, which I keep over there. I just grab a towel, and then the meds out of the refrigerator when I need them and take them over there. But for the most part, that's everything else that I take. I know a lot of people say, why don't you dip the navels? And I probably should, but the only reason why I don't is because I used to dip navels when we first started this, and then I found that the does just lick it all off. As soon as I dip it, the doe is in there licking it all off. So it was kind of pointless at that point. I mean, I was wasting my time, wasting my money getting the iodine because I'd dip it and she'd just lick it all off. So that's why we started doing the Draxxin and the kid paste. This isn't really necessarily medicine, but it is a book of all different kinds of ailments, diseases, and protocols that you can use to treat those ailments. There's also a page on how to program recips and donors. I need to get a new folder for it because this one is broke. And there's a few things that I would also add to this. There's a plan in the works to get this redone, perhaps put it on digital form, and then like I will add a few other notes to it as well. I also have all the meds, vet script meds I should say, on here on the refrigerator with the dosage and how to administer them if I'm like in a panic or something like that, so I need something done real quick and my brain isn't working. I can go here and I can go, oh, okay, this is what I need to give them, and that's how I do it. That something like that is like essential inside of your feed room or your med room or your utility room, wherever you have your med stuff set up. Something like that I would really recommend. So that way you're not like scrambling around trying to find the information. And then this top of this we have, I don't know, see if we can focus in on this. This stuff here, if you don't have any, this is a vet script. If you don't have any, I really highly suggest you get to your vet and you get some of this, it's for pink eye. It works literally within 12 hours, pink eye will be gone. I use it on like abrasions and stuff too. We had a doe that got her eyelid or something. She got her eyelid right below her eye caught on something, we're not even sure what, and she tore it, and this stuff helped heal it up so quickly. So I would really highly suggest getting some of that stuff. I also have some Neosporin and some Terramycin in here. This is over the counter. You can get this at TSC or Farm and Home or Rural King or wherever it is that you have in your area. I have some labels in here in case there's something I need to label. And then we have some disposable scalpels that we use if we have an abscess or something. Those always come in very handy. So in this box we have gloves, neoprene gloves, and we also have arm gloves for kidding. So you take one of these, put them on, and put one of these over top of the glove to keep it on, because if not, especially for my hands because they're small, if I just put those on, they just fall right off. So I put a pair of these on over top of those. Some more colostrum replacer, some CMPK, which is if you have a doe that won't get up after she kids, this is a really good thing to give as a CMPK because it has the calcium in it. This box we have, this is a multi injection gun, so you just put how much, it needs to be cleaned, but you put how much meds you need in it, and then put the needle on the end, and you can dial it into exactly how much dose you want to give the animals. We use this mostly for our CD&T vaccines. We have some copper sulfate here that we use for feet and mites. Salicylic acid that we also use for feet. Some rubbing alcohol. Some Nutri-Drench. I kind of made a joke about this in the last video. I really like this stuff. If I have a goat that's kind of off feed or just not eating well, I usually give them a couple squirts of this a day. They don't like it much. It smells really good, but they don't like the taste for some reason. They don't. You put it in their mouth and they just like freak out. So I don't know. It must have a weird taste. B-complex. This is the actual salicylic acid bottle. We just put it in the other bottle because it's easier to administer with the top that's on that. This is just a regular screw top. You can get this on Amazon. I know it's kind of pricey. We'll leave the link in the description. But this stuff works really, really good for hoof issues. Like if you have an abscess in the hoof wall, and I know it happens a lot. You have to cut away the hoof wall because it's blowing out. You can put that on there, and it treats it really, really well. Some mint udder balm. If I'm in a pinch and I don't feel like mixing up the other stuff, I'll use this. Here's some iodine. I think there's a slight little bit of that left. Some hydrogen peroxide. This is really good for flushing out abscesses. A few miscellaneous syringes in here. We have I'm not even gonna attempt to say the entire word, but we use this to treat a lot of diarrhea. It's sulfadimetacine or something like that. You get this from the vet as well. Neomycin, that's also to help treat, this is to treat diarrhea in the form of E. coli. So a lot of times diarrhea is attributed to E. coli, and this is neomycin will treat it. That is also a vet script. And then my Cydectin. I have a little bit of extra Cydectin over here, which I'll show in a minute, but these are it's so much easier to dose out of these because you can just pop the lid off, stick your syringe on there, and go. If you don't have these, this makes life much, much easier. You can get these from your vet's office. Like, we work really closely with our vet's office. I stand corrected. We got these from Amazon, but you can get them from your vet's office. And what I said earlier is, yeah, we do work closely with our vet. They're great. I'm very grateful for everything that they have done for us. So here we have some LA300. I should probably get a new bottle. I think this one's probably expired. LA200. This bottle was just opened. And then some Zactrim. If you don't have any of this stuff, get it. This stuff is amazing. We use this for a lot of hoof issues, hoof bacteria. I'm not necessarily sure if it was hoof rot, but it was a type of hoof bacteria, and give this to them along with the salicylic acid treatment, and man, it clears right up and it does not come back. So if you have those type of issues, I would very much recommend getting some Zactrim. This is also a vet script. And then some good old SpectraGuard. I use this on a lot of kids. If they got diarrhea, I'll just give them a couple squirts of that. Like the neonatal diarrhea. This works really well. And if not, then I'll go to the neomycin. This is another big bottle of LA200. I don't administer this anymore because it is very expired. I just pretty much keep it around for maybe emergency hoof treatment. I know a lot of people put the LA200 into the hoof capsule. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So it's just kind of there. I probably should have thrown it away, but I didn't. Some bag balm. I think we all know what this is for. A lot of times when we have mites, I will rub this on the mite area and it like smothers them. Sustain 3 bolus. Sulfamethazine. This is like our I don't want to say it's our go-to, but this is, if nothing else works, if nothing else that I've given them works, this is what we do. This is also over the counter. You can buy this at Farm and Home or TSC, whatever, but it comes in a big bolus like this. We'll just break them up, put them in a little blender over there with a little bit of water and kind of make a paste, and then drench them with it. But yeah, this is like our last resort if we have a goat with diarrhea that just will not clear up. After we've dewormed it and tried all this other stuff that I talked about earlier. And the other sulfa medicine in the red bottle that I talked about earlier, that's also for treating coccidiosis. So they're both sulfa meds, but they're a little different. E-Pro, this is what we use to treat with lice. We usually have to treat for lice once in the fall and then once again in the spring. I hate lice. You can always tell when they get it because they'll get like little colics and they'll just be super itchy. This is just some probiotic powder that I had. This is ammonium chloride. This is for bucks treating UC. Yeah, bucks or wethers treating UC. This is something that is always good to have on hand as well. That's also a vet script. And there's some more Cydectin. There's neomycin sulfate. Chlorhexidine. I love this stuff. This is a cleaner. A lot of vets use it, when they come in and they have their metal buckets full of liquid. This is the liquid that they have inside the buckets. It's amazing for cleaning stuff off. We will spray down. We had a doe last spring that had a terrible fungal infection, and that's what we sprayed on her, and it was gone within a week. This is also an Amazon purchase. I will leave the link to our Amazon store in the description, so you can find all of our Amazon purchase that I've already talked about. Here's good old Dine. If I have a doe that's looking like she might have a little bit of toxemia starting, I will drench her with some of this along with a few other things, which I will show you here in a second. These are our handy dandy little carrying cases that we got from Harbor Freight. And as you can see, the only thing I was able to fit in them was syringes and needles. We had a lot more than I thought, but I labeled each box with the amount that each syringe and with each gauge that the needles are. So this has made it a heck of a lot easier. We don't have boxes of needles and syringes sitting around anymore, which is a blessing because it was getting a little out of hand. And this is my box with all my towels in it. If I have a goat kidding, obviously I'm going to take a couple towels with me. I also have this is another thing that I take with me when they kid and I go to do all the vaccinating and all that stuff. A sling and a scale, so I know exactly how much they weigh. And then if I need to use these, I haven't really used these I didn't use them much last year. I used them on all the bottle babies. If I have bottle babies, because they go inside for a week and then they come out, and when they come out in the barn, I always put one of these on them. But for the most part, the dam raised kids, I don't usually put these on them. I've never really had a problem with rejection, but I just don't want to risk it. These are like super cute. A friend of ours in Michigan made them. I have a whole stack of them right here. This is for putting on the tubes of like the Docs probiotics. I don't have any Docs out here. They're all in the show box. But yeah, this thing's really handy dandy if you don't have one and you're given that kind of stuff. I would really suggest getting one of these. Now you're probably all wondering why we got a big packet of beer in here. If I have a doe that is not coming into her milk, I know it sounds really crazy, but I'll give her some beer and it usually helps bring her milk in. I don't know if it's the yeast or whatever in the beer, but it always seems to help bring her milk in. And yes, they actually like the beer. We got some Banamine paste right here, which I need to get some more of that. I love the paste. I hardly ever use the liquid anymore. The injectable stuff, I always use this. I love this stuff so much. I go through a ton of that. Some cedars and an applicator. This is my homemade mix for toxemic does. It's just pumpkin, cream corn, a small can of evaporated milk, molasses, and maple syrup. So it has the sugars plus the protein and the carbs in there as well. This is C and D antitoxin. It's old. I tried to order some new stuff last year and they said they couldn't get any. They told me just to keep the expired stuff, so I'm going to try and get some more this year. I hope that it's not still on back order, but if it is, I'll use this stuff again. If you don't have any of this on hand, I really suggest getting some. And then we have a couple of vials of tetanus antitoxin that I also suggest getting. The tetanus antitoxin you can get at TSC or any farm store that you have in your area. The C&D antitoxin you cannot. That's a vet script. Here we got some Draxxin. This is my go-to when it comes to pretty much anything to do with the lungs, pneumonia or respiratory distress. I always just go to Draxxin. We got some thiamine, Bosi. This is our CD&T vaccine, epinephrine, and then Restflor, which is pretty much the same as Nuflor. We got some penicillin down here, some oxytocin, more penicillin, Nuflor, dexamethasone, Salute, thiamine, and vitamin B. So those are injectable meds. And then we have this down here. Oh my god, my back. Extra syringes that I couldn't fit in those boxes. Some vet wrap, which is always good to have on hand. A bunch of gauze wraps, gauze pads, some over-the-counter probiotic, a bunch of CMPK. I do have this stuff. I have not used it yet. It's umbilical spray. Maybe I'll use it this year. We'll see. Blow stop powder, which I've never used either. Dextrose. Some sterile saline solution, and then we have some more dextrose. I think that's hydrogen peroxide, and then burn spray, which is what I use, or Jason uses when he dehorns kids. Usually dehorn them and then a couple sprays of this on there and takes the pain away. So under here, let's see what we got. We got all of our tagging kit, and AI kit way back here, which we've never used. Some bleach, which is right here. Today, I would suggest anybody who's weaning get these. When we wean does, as soon as we pull the babies off, they get each doe gets some one of these in each teat, because it helps mitigate any kind of bacteria that might have gotten in there. It helps them dry up faster. So there's the today. The dehorner, and then this is the some more powdered copper sulfate. And then we just have a plethora of sprayers that we use. I think this one has iodine in it. And then this one is, let's see, someone's not labeled. So I think this one is bleach. One of those is bleach and the other one is the E-Pro.
So that's what we got for meds and stuff here in the barn. Like Brooke said before, I will leave a link down below in the description for our Amazon store. Anything that we buy from Amazon, I put in that store. So if you're looking for something, that's where it would be. If you guys have any other questions, please leave them down in the comments, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys for coming along, and see you in the next video.